A new era of junior Formula racing about to get underway. Welcome to Imola, everybody, for the first round of the brand new Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine. My name is Chris McCarthy, and a very warm welcome to the first of 3 support races for Formula One for this brand new championship, co-organised and promoted by Alpine and ACI Sports. 10 rounds in total, 30 drivers on the grid. We start here in Imola, then we go to Barcelona, then we will go to Monaco. We will support then 2 GT World Challenge events, ADAC GT Masters, International GT Open, and we end back in Italy on the 30th and the 31st of October in Monza. Well, qualifying is underway, the first of 2 qualifying sessions. The second one will be coming up for you a little bit later. This will set the grid for tomorrow's race. So this will not set the grid for the race we have coming up later this afternoon. This will set the grid for tomorrow's race. The cars are out on track now. Just to give you a rundown of some of the drivers that we unfortunately won't have with us this weekend. We were due to have 33. Lena Bula is not here due to an injury she picked up in testing, and we wish her a speedy recovery. Thomas ten Brink sadly won't be able to make it this weekend either due to health reasons. And one of the favourites coming into the championship, third in last year's Formula Renault Eurocup, Franco Colapinto, is racing in the European Le Mans Series this weekend, so unfortunately he will miss the first round. But 30 drivers still on the grid. Yesterday we had 2 practice sessions. Alex Quinn was fastest in the first session. Of course, Alex 4th in last year's Formula Renault Eurocup, so definitely comes in one of the favourites. Mercedes F1 junior driver Paul Aron was 2nd. William Alatalo was in 3rd place. William Alatalo, another driver definitely to watch out for. He was 8th in last year's Formula Renault Eurocup. David Vidales was 4th. Went well in the Formula Renault Eurocup here last year, took his debut in single-seaters here last year, won both races. Unfortunately had a bit of a crash on the 2nd visit to the Imola circuit that we had. Gregor Salsi was 6th, Mari Boia 5th. Gabriele Mini, the Italian F4 champion, was quickest in second practice session. Then we had Gregor Salsi, Alex Quinn, Mari Boia, and David Vidales. So some familiar names appearing to the top. One name we haven't seen towards the front of the field in practice, who was very quick in testing, was Isaac Hadjar. Now, he could be one to watch, was racing in the Asian F3 Championship, one of many drivers in this series who went and did that. We have a lot of big names coming into this, a lot of champions. The Italian F4 champion Gabriele Mini is here. We have the Spanish F4 champion Kaz Havercourt here as well. We have one of the UAE F4 champions in Francesco Pizzi. We also have the US F4 2000 vice champion coming over here as well, Dudu Barrichello. So this is going to be an absolutely fantastic series. Some big names returning as well, like I said, from the 2 championships that have formed together in Formula Renault Eurocup and the Formula Regional European Championship. Patrick Pasma, who was 4th in the Formula Regional European Championship, is here this weekend. And he took 2 wins at Imola as well last season, so definitely one to watch out for. Well, the cars are out on track. Just over 15 minutes to go. I'll run you through the drivers we have with us this weekend. So Paul Aron is in the number 1, Nico Gola in the number 2, Patrick Pasma is in the 5, Isaac Hadjar in the 6, Axel Noz 7, William Alatalo is in the 8. Then we have Alexandra Bardignon in the 9, Hadrian David in the 10, David Vidales is in the 12, Yassin Ferrati in the 13. Nicola Marinangeli is in the 14. Tommy Smith, 16. Dino Begnovic is in the 17. He's definitely going to be one to watch as well. Ferrari Academy driver. Andrea Rosso is in the 19. Alex Quinn, fastest in one of the sessions yesterday, will be in the 21. Zane Maloney in the 22, the driver from Barbados. Gregor Salsi is in the 26. Kaz Havercourt is in the 27. Then we have Pietro Deli Guanti in the 35. Emilio Pesce is going to be in the 41. Then we have Gabriele Mini in the 46, Francesco Pizzi in the 51, Elias Seppänen is in the 58, Lorenzo Fluxa is in the 62, Mari Boia in the 64, then we have Brad Benavides in the 71, Garcia is in the 72, Bortoletto in the 85, Barrichello is in the 91, Oliver Girth is in the 96. Oliver Girth, one of the drivers stepping up from F4, spoke to him leading up to the event, and he said one of the things that's been difficult that's took him a few days to get used to in these cars. So drivers graduating up from F4, won the Pirelli tyres, which is going to be new to any drivers coming over from Formula Renault Eurocup last year. Says you have to be super smooth on the Pirelli tyres. A little bit of oversteer can cost you a lot of time. And he said that's just taking him a little bit of time to get used to. And the steering a little bit heavier as well than what you would be used to in the F4. Those Pirelli tyres, they've got so much grip that they give you a lot more downforce. And on a track like Imola, we all know it quite well. You have to be super, super smooth around here. So being good on those tyres is going to be critical to getting a good time in qualifying. Times from yesterday, the quickest time of the day was set in second practice session, and it was a 1:38.021. So that's the kind of area we are looking at in terms of going for pole. But this is Gabriel Bortoleto. Great to see him. Commentated on Gabriel back in the FIA Karting Championships in 2018. Have to say, a lot of drivers who raced each other in that championship are here. Gabriel just being one of them. So great to see him with us. He raced in the Italian F4 Championship last year, did Bortoleto, the 16-year-old from Brazil. Finished 5th with Prema in that championship. Took a win and 5 podiums, and we're currently watching him. He's in the FA racing machine as he now makes his way down towards the first Rivazza. Little bit of traffic there. Won't be too pleased with that at all, will Bortoleto, as he now makes his way out of the second Rivazza and up towards the final corner. Hardly a corner though, it's flat out. He's had some delays on this lap, so I don't think it will be respectable of what we could expect to see. A 1:41 kicks us off as Bortoleto comes across the line. We've got Andrea Rosso coming up towards the line. Alexandre Bardignon likewise. Alexandre spoke to him a lot last year, actually. He was racing in the Euro Formula Open. Great to see the Frenchman here. So Bortoleto is who leads from Rosso at the moment, but we haven't seen a lot of drivers setting times. There's the number 9 we can see, that is Alexandre Bardignon. You can see a little bit of a lockup going into the Tamburello chicane. This is the Variante Alta, and anyone who's seen pictures of Imola, you've probably seen pictures of exactly that. You have to take a lot of curb going into the Variante Alta. It was last year there actually that David Vidales had a little bit of an accident on the opening lap of a Formula Renault Eurocup race. He'll be hoping to avoid any of those dramas. Here's the number 58 we're picking up next. This is Elias Seppänen, the Finnish driver, just making his way out of the Variante Alta. You can see 2 ardent drivers there. We've got Alatalo and Quinn as well. Alex Quinn, spoke to him on the build-up to this event, feeling very, very confident, very focused, very determined coming into this one. He knows that this really is a championship. He needs to go for glory in this. Alex Quinn, who had his first season back last year in what was a couple of years out due to budget restrictions, and did very well in the Formula Renault Eurocup with Arden. The team have got a lot of faith in Alex, and he's confident he can repay them that with a few wins and maybe even a title win this season. But still getting the tyres up to temperature. There you can see the times to the left-hand side of your screen. The Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine. If you're just tuning in, welcome. You've missed about half of qualifying, but you haven't missed too much just yet, because we are still having the drivers getting themselves warmed up and ready to go. 10 minutes on the clock for qualifying. You can just see a little bit of weaving still going on. They're still getting these tyres up to temperature. Here we pick up the number 46. Now this is going to be one to watch this season. Gabriele Mini entered single-seaters last year, did Gabriele, and won the Italian F4 Championship. Did absolutely fantastic. There you can see making his way now down towards Acqua Minerale. And he's a very promising young driver, just 16 years old, from Sicily. Finished second in pre-season testing here, but the Italian F4 champion got some good results when that championship visited here as well. So really looking forward to seeing how he gets on. However, we've had yellow flags out in sectors 1 and 2. So someone has had a little bit of an incident somewhere. Looks like Kaz Havercourt has just gone to 3rd. Nico Gola, the KIC Motorsport driver, has now gone to the top with a 1:41.5, but with yellow flags out, everyone just slowing down a bit now. This is going to be a problem. This is the Rivazza. You'll notice this if you're F1 fan that drivers, of course, when they get towards the end of a lap, just slow up to try and give themselves a little bit of space ahead. And the Ravazza seems to be the queuing point at the moment. Everyone now sets off on flying laps. How fantastic it is, though. 30 drivers out there. I've got to say, as single-seater championships go, as junior single-seater championships go, this has to be one of the best grids I have ever seen. There's a lot of excitement around this championship, and so there should be. Supporting the F1, we're the only race here supporting the F1 this weekend. A lot of attention is on this. We've got a lot of F1 junior drivers out there this weekend. Everyone talking about the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine. The first of 10 rounds. We go to Imola, Barcelona, Monaco, Paul Ricard, Zandvoort, Nürburgring. Round 7 to be confirmed, and then we go to Red Bull Ring, Mugello and Monza. Who's going to be the champion at the end of it is anyone's guess. There is a number of drivers who could be champion. 16 different drivers in the top 10 during the three pre-season tests that we had. We pick up now the number 7 making his way up towards the final corner. That's Axel Noss. Just coming up to the line now. 2 personal best, and that's good enough to go third. So Axel Noss going third there. Isaac Hadjar looks to have gone quickest. Zane Maloney is in second. Kaz Havercourt now going third. Here's Dino Beganovic, the Swede, the Ferrari Academy driver, goes quickest. 1:39.591. Okay, we're starting to get a little bit more respectable in the times now. Paul Aron, his teammate, the young Estonian Mercedes young driver, goes quickest. 1:39.109. Here's Axel Noss coming into Variante Alta. Did he run a little bit wide? Oh, there you can see. Now, that's what we were talking about these Pirelli tyres. Just that slight kick of oversteer that Oliver Girth told us about can really cost you. This is Isaac Hadjar running a little bit wide. In fact, that's not Isaac Hadjar, sorry. That's the number 16 of Tommy Smith, the JD Motorsport driver. There you go. That's the number 51 going, Francesco Pizzi going on a small flight and lands as quickly as he takes off. Slightly uncomfortable, I imagine. Here's Isaac Hadjar, currently sitting in third place, making his way out of Variante Alta. Yellow flag's out again, but Isaac Hadjar is already through the first 2 sectors, so that's okay. So he can carry on. Track is now clear, as we can see on the top left of your screen. The young Frenchman coming into this season has definitely been one to watch. He's gone quicker than most would have expected. He's one of the several rookies we have in this championship. The 16-year-old from Paris making his way up to the line. Can he beat the time set by Zane Maloney? He can. 1:38.816. Isaac Hadjar was third in the French F4 Championship last year, taking 3 wins and 11 podiums. Of course, that championship was led by 2 young Japanese drivers. He was the highest of the non-Japanese drivers in that championship and did well in the Asian F3 Championship this year as well. Finished 6th overall in that. We briefly saw yellow flags out, and this is why. That looks like the number 68, I think, no, number 58, sorry, was briefly off the track. That's Elias Seppänen. Oh dear, and there you can see Elias Seppänen, the KIC Motorsport driver, just going off the circuit. That looked like it was coming into the Villeneuve chicane that happened. Aron now quickest. Saucy, definitely another one to watch as well. Gregor Saucy comes into this championship with a lot of experience. He was quickest in the Barcelona test as well, the second test. He is second. Hadjar is third. David Vidales, only his second year of single-seater racing, David Vidales, but one of the best karting drivers in the world before he moved up, and it's not taken him long to get used to it. He took 2 wins on his debut in single-seaters here last year. Zane Maloney is 5th. Beganovic is 6th. There we can see Gregor Saucy. We now pick him up, the number 26, just making his way up towards Piratella. Now back downhill again, the ART driver. Coming into this, perhaps one of the favourites, and will have nothing less than a championship win in his sights. Oh, there you can see a kick of oversteer once again. You've got to be super smooth. This track, very, very quick. A lot of high-speed corners, and some would say that overtaking around here could be a bit difficult as well. So qualifying is going to be crucial. This sets the grid for tomorrow's race as well. Don't forget, we have another qualifying session coming up in a little while. And then the first race coming up today. Gregor Saucy's personal best through second sector. He's got a little bit of traffic coming through Ravazza though. Can he clear that as he now makes his way out of turn 18? Up towards turn 19, he's going to get a bit of a tow from the number 17 ahead of Dino Beganovic. Gregor Salsi, 138.3 to beat, and beats it. Goes quickest. It's provisional pole for Salsi, 138.139. That's just a tenth slower than what we saw, than the quickest time we saw yesterday. Paul Aron is second. David Vidales is third. Maloney is in fourth place. Hajar is in fifth place. David is in sixth place. Hadrian David, the French driver. Gabriele Mini is seventh. Kaz Havicourt is eighth. Oliver Gerth, the Bullet Sports Management driver, is there in ninth place. Begnovic is in 10th place. Bortoletto going very well. Considering his results from pre-season testing, that's a big improvement from him. We look back here at Axel Noss. And again, another little kick of oversteer. And is this going to send him all the way around? It is. Round she goes. And Axel Noss just pushing a little bit too hard there, the G4 Racing driver. But does he style it out nicely? Oh, there you can see. What a shot that is. And I'd say those flames are representative of what was going through Axel Noss's mind at that time when he took a spin there. Absolute rage. But let's see what he can do. He's currently in 17th place. Deli Guanti, I think, has just had a time deleted. Murray Boyer has gone up to 9th place. Good time from him. Spanish F4 vice champion from last year. We pick up the Prema driver of David Vidales now making his way downhill towards Ravazza. He's gone quicker than anyone through the second sector. Oh dear, but his teammate Dino Begnovic is off ahead of him and he's going to have to slow down. So sadly, his time has now been ruined by his teammate. You're not going to be able to go any quicker through a yellow sector. So this time won't count and red flags are out. Red flags are out. We've got someone off and the red flags are out. All cars must return to the pits, and there it is. That's the Yassin Ferrati, the Swiss driver, is off, and that looks like it might be at Piratella. Yassin Ferrati, sadly, off the circuit, and I'm not sure how that's happened. It wouldn't make sense if it was at Piratella, because that would have mean he's gone exit stage left at a right-hander. It is, okay, it's on the exit of Piratella. How has that happened? That is a very, very unusual position to be facing in at that corner, because it's a very, very quick corner. Unless he's gone wide somehow. Perhaps there's been some contact, but the session is stopped. Okay, we're about to have all our questions answered. Yassin Ferrati through the left-hander, goes wide and just loses it. And there we go, Yassin Ferrati, his session comes to an abrupt end. This was where the number 17 of Dino Begnovic went off, just taking too much speed into Ravazza. David Vidales behind was on a quickest lap as well, so a shame for him, but red flags were shortly out afterwards anyway. So Salsi leading at the red flags, Aron in second. Hadrian David was then in third place. Now we haven't spoken much about Hadrian David yet, the 17-year-old who was quickest here in testing. He raced in the Formula Renault Euro Cup last year, finishing in 10th place, and his only podium of the season actually came at Imola with a third place at the 8th round. So David will be looking forward to this round. I'm not sure if anyone's going to go back out here. I mean, we've got 2 minutes 27 on the clock. That's enough time to do one flyer. They'll have 2 minutes and 27 to get out and round, and then they will have one flying lap. David Vidales is fourth, Zay Maloney fifth, Alex Quinn sixth, Isaac Hajar seventh, Gabriele Mini in eighth, Murray Boyer ninth, Kaz Havicourt 10th, Oliver Gerth is in 11th, coming up from Spanish F4. Begnovic 12th, Bortoletto in 13th, Alatalo 14th, Elias Sepinen in 15th place, Dudu Barrichello in 16th place, of course son of Rubens Barrichello, Axel Noss 17th, Andrea Rosso 18th, Fluxa 19th, Benavides in 20th place, the American-Spanish driver. Multiple swimming champion, actually. Brad Benavides has a lot of records to his name. There's Yassin Ferrati, sadly, walking away. Well, thankfully walking away, but sadly for him, session over. Not the start to the season he wanted. And tomorrow's race, he will be starting from the back of the field. But this is going to make a very interesting end to the session. Here we pick up the number 26. This is your current provisional pole sitter, Gregor Salsi. No surprise to see him where he is. I mean, he's had a very good pre-season, the 21-year-old. Finished 5th at Imola in pre-season testing, then was quickest at Barcelona, 2nd at Paul Ricard. He raced in the Toyota Racing Series last year with a 6th, 7th in Formula Renault Eurocup, and took 2 podiums as well. And he's been racing in single-seater since 2016, so comes in with a lot of experience. There's Elias Seppänen, currently in 15th place. The Finnish driver. He will be fairly pleased, I'd say, with how things are going so far. Going to be right in the middle of the field is the number 58 from Helsinki. Did the ADAC F4 Championship last year, finishing 3rd. Here's Paul Aron, Mercedes young driver, as we said. So Mercedes actually put a tweet out about Paul Aron leading up to the weekend, wishing him luck. So for the first 3 rounds of the championship, he's going to have his supporters right track side. He was 11th in the Formula Renault Eurocup last year after finishing 3rd in the Italian F4 Championship the year previous. Took a podium at the Nürburgring and scored his first points of the season at Imola. Here's another look then. Yassin Ferrati's just going to get a little bit crossed up. Looked like an overcorrection to me. Looked like he just started to lose the rear, perhaps overcorrected it, and the Monza Light Racing driver was back round before he knew it. But look, easy to do. Very easy to do at that corner. Car goes light through there. And Yassin Ferrati, who's still finding his feet. He finished 29th in the Italian F4 Championship last year with a best result of 11th. So he's still a driver that's getting used to it. I remember commentating on Yassin actually when he was just a kart racer in Belgium, just finding his feet in the sport for the very first time. Great to see him has come as far as he has, and no doubt he'll come further. Okay, here we go. This is going to be interesting. 2 minutes 25 on the clock. They've got about a minute. It takes them about 1 minute and 40 seconds to get round. And the Prema guys are first out of the pits, and this is going to be foot to the floor, get round as quickly as you can and start your lap. There's going to be no messing around. In fact, it looks like William Alatalo was out first from Alex Quinn and Nicola Marinangeli. So they're pretty much out in the order that the garages are placed in. Of course, no Yassin Ferrati, but there's going to be 29 cars out there all going for a lap. And they've got to get round very quickly. As well as that, they've got to try and find heat in the tyres. And if you've been with us the whole qualifying session, if you haven't, first of all, welcome. You're about to be treated to a very interesting end to this session. But if you were with us, you'll know it took them a few laps to get heat in these Pirelli tyres. So I highly doubt we're really going to see any improvements here. I might be proven very wrong. There we can see the number 64 of Mari Boyer trying to get past his teammate of Lorenzo Fluxa, the 2 Van Amersfoort drivers, almost going head to head. And then that looks like one of the MP Motorsport drivers coming up the outside there. In fact, that's the FA Racing driver. Apologies, of Andrea Rosso. Here we pick up the number 9 next. This is Alexandre Bardignon. We watched him a while earlier. Less than a minute on the clock. All they have to do is get across the line before that clock strikes 0, and then they can do that lap. So they should all make it across. But don't forget, they're all going to start queuing up. When we get to Rivazza, they're all going to start slowing down to give themselves a gap ahead. So if you're at the back of this queue, you have a little bit of a risk here of not getting across the line in time. We've still got drivers coming over towards the Varianti Alta. They're going to have to get a move on here. Here we go. Here we can see this is William Alatalo already across the line. Alex Quinn follows him next. Nicola Marinangeli next across. Aron there. There's the number 12 of Vidales. Begnovic is next. Here's our provisional pole sitter, Gregor Salsi. He's got pretty good drivers to follow as well. This is Gabriele Mini, currently in 8th place. That would be a very good result for the rookie, I have to say. Italian F4 champion. And the clock has now, the flag's out. Now, Seppänen didn't make it across the line. Axel Noss didn't make it across the line. Benavides didn't make it across the line either. Pest didn't make it across the line. Smith didn't make it across the line. So as expected, those towards the back just simply didn't have time to get across the line. Let's see what the guys towards the front can do then, as they now make their way up towards Piratella. There's the ART team. They're currently in a provisional pole. We've got yellow flags out, so someone's heading off through sectors 1 and 2, but quickly back on. So I'd suggest that was just someone running a little bit wide. Here is Salsi. I'd say he's out for safety more than anything. He's currently got a lead of 0.2 of a second. Doesn't look like anyone is going any quicker at the moment as they come up now towards the Variante Alta. Wait till you see how much curb they take through here. And Salsi's actually backing off, so the team have told him no need to go any quicker. So I think that's going to be potentially a lot. We may see 1 or 2 changes a little bit lower down the field, but I don't think we'll see any major changes as the William Alatalo will lead us across the line, and he goes 10th, so 1 change there. So good stuff by William Alatalo. It was definitely worth him getting out. He's popped into the top 10. And Dino Begnovic has gone 7th, so he found a little bit of time as well. Mini has gone up to 9th place, so a couple of changes lower down the top 10. Will we see any more? Yes, we've got a change on the front row. Hadrian David has gone to 2nd place, so a change to the front row. Paul Aron has lost his spot on the front row. No more changes, though, as they come across the line, but a couple of big changes within the top 10 there. Gregor Salsi is going to take the first pole position of the season and the first pole position in the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine, and Hadrian David for R-Race GP will line up alongside him on the front row. Paul Aron finishes in 3rd. David Vidales is 4th. Zay Maloney will be very, very pleased with that 5th place. Fist pumps over at ART. First pole going to them. Alex Quinn in 6th, the Brit who was quickest in one of the practice sessions yesterday. Begnovic will be very happy with that 7th place, one of the several rookies. Hajar in 8th, another rookie. Mini likewise in 9th. Mari Boya, another rookie in 10th. We've got a lot of quick rookies in this series. Alatalo just outside the top 10. But that is your lot for first qualifying. That is your grid for tomorrow. And I'd say of the 2 races, these drivers deep down, that will be the one they want to win on race day here at the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. And Salsi is going to be the one that lines up on the front row alongside Hadrian David. Great stuff. Interesting session, wasn't it? It's a lot of few spins, people still finding their feet, but a very interesting end. And let's go through the results. Gregor Salsi leading then. Hadrian David 2nd. Paul Aron and David Vidales on all Prema row 2. Zay Maloney and Alex Quinn will form row 3. Dino Begnovic and Isaac Hajar will form row 4. Gabriele Mini and Mari Boya complete your top 10. 8 tenths in total between the top 10, but look at the top 2. Less than 2 tenths between them. It was very close. William Alatalo just outside the top 10 was in it and then dropped straight back out of it again. Kaz Havercourt was in 12th. Oliver Girth in 13th. Gabriel Bortoletto will be very pleased with 14th place, I'm sure. Elias Sepinen in 15th. Dudu Barrichello 16th. Axel Noss in 17th. Had a little bit of trouble in qualifying, though, so still more to come from him. Rossa, Fluxa, Benavides. Then we have Pesk, Smith, Deli Gawanti, Pizzi, Gola, Pasma, Bardignon, Marinangeli, Ferrati, who, of course, brought out the red flags, and Belen Garcia. She's going to be down in 30th place. Just the 1 test, though, for her so far. Brink, Colapinto, not with us this weekend. Brink, due to health reasons. Colapinto is over at ELMS. And Lena Bula, we're wishing her a speedy recovery as she still gets back from injury. Well, there we go. That's your lot for qualifying 1. Stick with us very shortly. We're not going to be too long, and we will be back for qualifying 2. But that's all for now, folks. We'll see you in a little while for qualifying 2.